man they called the perpetual motion machine met a horrible end that stripped away the very thing that defined him, his ability to move. John Havlicek's final years were a cruel irony that nobody saw coming. But before this tragic conclusion, Hondo's life was filled with political betrayals, revolutionary moments, and untold stories that changed basketball forever. Born April 8, 1940 in Martins Ferry, Ohio, John Havlicek grew up in the tiny town of Lansing. Population 700. His parents, Frank and Amanda, ran a family grocery store, while most neighbors worked in coal mines and steel mills. His father was an immigrant from Czechoslovakia, bringing that Eastern European work ethic to young John. Even as a kid, Havlicek showed signs of his legendary stamina. He discovered a personal sense of accomplishment, running non-stop between highway mileposts, laying the foundation for what would become his reputation as a perpetual motion machine on the basketball court. At Bridgeport High School, Havlicek was exceptional at everything. He earned all state honors in basketball, football, and baseball. As quarterback, he was noted for leadership and hard running. On the basketball court, he averaged nearly 30 points per game, but was even more celebrated for defense. In baseball, he played every infield position with a 460 batting average. Some sources suggest he could have become a professional baseball player. This remarkable athletic foundation led to over 35 scholarship offers for both basketball and football. He chose Ohio State University on a basketball scholarship, where teammate Mel Nowell gave him the nickname Hondo, saying he resembled John Wayne's character in the recent film. At Ohio State, Havlicek became part of one of college basketball's most dominant teams, playing alongside future Hall of Famers Jerry Lucas and Bobby Knight, plus teammate Larry Siegfried. The Buckeyes compiled an impressive 78-6 record. They won 3 consecutive Big Ten championships and reached the Final Four each year from 1960 to 1962. The crowning achievement was winning the 1960 NCAA basketball tournament. Havlicek's role was defined by defensive commitment, routinely assigned to guard the opponent's best player regardless of position. During his senior season, he averaged 17 points per game and was voted team captain, earning All-American honors. But then came what Havlicek considered probably the biggest disappointment of my athletic career, being left off the 1960 U.S. Olympic basketball team. Despite performing well during trials, he and teammate Larry Siegfried were excluded due to a bitter political feud between the Amateur Athletic Union and the NCAA. This wasn't about merit, it was about power. The rivalry was so intense, it required mediation attempts from multiple presidents and Congress, all failing. The AAU controlled international competition through FIBA, while the NCAA argued colleges produced the top athletes. The NCAA threatened to remove scholarships from athletes competing in ARAU events, while the ARAU claimed college scholarships made players hired professionals. Only 7 NCAA players made the Olympic team, leaving 2 players from an NCAA championship squad off the roster. This systemic failure undoubtedly fueled Havlicek's professional ambitions. In 1962, Havlicek faced a unique situation. Drafted by both the Boston Celtics and Cleveland Browns. Though he hadn't played college football, his high school prowess was remembered. He attended Brown's training camp but was the last player cut, losing his spot to all-pro flanker Gary Collins. This solidified his basketball focus. Under legendary coach Red Auerbach, Havlicek didn't immediately start. Instead, he pioneered what became known as the sixth man role. His boundless energy and all-around skills made him devastating against opponents' second units and tired starters. Auerbach's strategic decision to maximize Havlicek's unique talents revolutionized how reserves were used in professional basketball. Havlicek became so effective that he's still considered the best sixth man in NBA history. His playing style was relentless, characterized by constant movement that frustrated opponents. Auerbach famously dubbed him the guts of the team for his tenacious effort and commitment. This role didn't diminish his accomplishments. He became the first player to achieve 16 consecutive seasons with at least 1,000 points scored, testament to consistent ability and remarkable durability. His performance was crucial to the Celtics dynasty of the 1960s, contributing significantly to 6 of his eventual 8 championships. Among all of Havlicek's accomplishments, one moment stands above the rest: the steal. In the final seconds of Game 7 of the 1965 Eastern Conference Finals against Philadelphia, with Boston leading 110-109, Bill Russell turned the ball over on an inbounds pass. The 76ers had one final chance. With 5 seconds on the clock, Philadelphia's Hal Greer prepared to inbound. Havlicek, guarding Chet Walker, recalled Auerbach's coaching tip to always look for an edge. He silently counted down the 5-second clock and, anticipating Greer's delayed pass, made his move. He leaped and deflected the ball to teammate Sam Jones as the buzzer sounded, securing victory. This dramatic moment was immortalized by Celtics announcer Johnny Moe's frantic call: "Havlicek stole the ball. It's all over. It's all over." The NBA celebrates it as the most famous radio call in basketball history. Following Bill Russell's retirement, Havlicek's role evolved. Beginning in 1969-70, he became a full-time starter and team captain. His statistics peaked as he led a new Celtics core, including Dave Cowens, JoJo White, and Paul Silas, to 2 more championships in 1974 and 1976. The 1974 title was particularly significant. Havlicek was named Finals MVP, a fitting honor for someone who'd been the team's heart and soul for over a decade. Havlicek's final season, 1977-78, contrasted sharply with his earlier dynastic success. The Celtics were one of the worst teams in franchise history. He played alongside what was described as a rag bag of malcontents and enthusiasts of recreational drugs. Teammate Don Chaney called it a terrible year, a waste, due to constant turmoil and unbelievable front office interference. The chaos resulted from an unprecedented ownership situation. Celtics owner Irv Levin wanted to move the franchise to California, but the NBA blocked the move. A compromise was reached where Levin and Buffalo Braves owner John Y. Brown Jr. swapped franchises. The deal included a 7-player trade bringing Nate Archibald, Billy Knight, and Marvin Barnes to Boston. The trade was executed without legendary general manager Red Auerbach's knowledge, reportedly making him furious. When Brown again traded 3 future first-round picks for Bob McAdoo without consulting Auerbach, it nearly pushed the GM to resign for a position with the rival New York Knicks. Despite these difficult circumstances, Havlicek's professional demeanor never wavered. He maintained his standards until retirement, providing a crucial link between the old dynasty and the future. The draft picks Auerbach saved were later used to acquire Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale, and the team's poor 1978 record allowed them to draft Larry Bird. Havlicek retired in 1978 after 16 years, having established himself among NBA history's greatest players. His decision was driven by personal philosophy. If he couldn't contribute 30 to 35 minutes per game significantly, it was time to leave rather than hang around getting 15 to 18 minutes of playing time, with most of that being charity. His transition was smooth, partly due to financial wisdom. He was a shrewd investor who invested heavily in Wendy's fast food chain during its formative years. These investments' success ensured he never had to work for a conventional salary again. After playing, he served as a corporate speaker and NBA Goodwill Ambassador while enjoying hobbies like hunting, fishing, and golf. Havlicek dedicated much of his post-basketball life to philanthropy, notably through long-standing commitment to the Genesis Foundation for Children. Established by Dr. Murray Feingold in 1982, the foundation provides funding and advocacy for children with rare diseases, genetic disorders, and physical and intellectual challenges. Beginning in 1983, Havlicek and his wife, Beth, hosted the annual John Havlicek Celebrity Fishing Tournament, bringing together celebrities like former Red Sox star Carlton Fisk and former Celtics coach Chris Ford to raise money. This unwavering commitment demonstrated his character extended far beyond athletic achievements. In his later years, John Havlicek was diagnosed with severe, aggressive, and debilitating Parkinson's disease. This diagnosis was particularly poignant for the man nicknamed Hondo, who was literally a man in motion throughout his career. Parkinson's is a progressive disorder that gradually deprives patients of voluntary movement ability. A cruel irony for an athlete whose greatest gift was boundless movement. Havlicek's legendary stamina and third lung were metaphors for relentless drive, but the disease ultimately challenged the very essence of his athletic identity. The man who once ran non-stop between highway mileposts as a child, who was called the perpetual motion machine, who frustrated opponents with constant movement, was slowly being robbed of the thing that defined him most. John Havlicek died peacefully on April 25, 2019 at age 79 in Jupiter, Florida. The direct cause was pneumonia contracted after a fall, leading to brain damage from oxygen deprivation. His passing marked the end of a remarkable life, but his legacy endures. His number 17 jersey was retired by the Celtics, and he was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1984. With 8 championships and an 8-0 finals record, Havlicek's career statistics and enduring reputation as a versatile, team-first player confirm his place among all-time greats. But perhaps most importantly, John Havlicek showed us that greatness isn't just about talent. It's about relentless effort, adaptability, and maintaining professionalism even in the darkest times. From political disappointments to revolutionary roles, from championship glory to charitable work, Hondo never stopped moving forward. Even when Parkinsons tried to steal his motion, it couldn't steal his legacy of persistence, innovation, and unwavering character. The perpetual motion machine may have stopped, but the impact of his movement continues to inspire generations of athletes and fans alike.